Well, more now on the federal Conservative Party's convention here in Calgary this weekend. Laurie Williams from Mount Royal University joining us this morning. Laurie, thanks for taking time for us and lots to get into, but I guess let's start with Pierre Poilievre's speech this evening and what you're expecting from that.
Well, it's got to be a speech that speaks to some of the concerns that Canadians have right now. One of the things I understand he's going to be addressing is the separatist question, and presumably talking about why remaining in Canada is a good idea and what he would do as Prime Minister to make that a more appealing alternative to Conservatives. He needs the support of Conservatives in Alberta who may be toying with this idea, and has to be offering something in the way of both a short-term and long-term benefit with respect to that. And I think he's also just going to try to continue showing us what this shift in tone is going to look like. We saw in recent polls pretty difficult numbers for Pierre Poilievre. His leadership, he's doing much worse than his party is. There's a growing gap between him and Mark Carney as potential prime minister at this stage. Many Conservatives are happy with the performance of Mark Carney at this point in time. So he's got to present a vision for the future and look like a prime minister who can actually get things accomplished on the world stage.
And so does he have reason to be concerned with this leadership review that will also happen this evening?
I don't think he's going to lose. The question is he going to get a high enough approval rating to sort of use as a springboard going forward? Stephen Harper, in a similar situation, got 84%, and that seems to be a bar that a lot of people are tossing around. I would say more than 80% is what he needs, but that's just the first hurdle here. He's got to try to reach out to a broader range of Canadians in order to look like a credible alternative going into the next election.
And let's get more into that, because you did speak to this, I think it was an Nanos poll earlier this week, showing that while the two parties, the Liberals and the Conservatives, are not that far apart federally, the leaders, Poilievre and Carney, separated by 30 points. It's a huge gap. What will Poilievre need to do to change that?
Well, I don't think he can just reverse it tonight, but I do think the Davos speech and the resonance that's getting, not just in Canada, but around the world, is having a significant impact. And I expected the polls to reflect a bigger gap between the two leaders as a result of that. But longer term, as people start to struggle more with affordability, I think he's got at least potential to tap into the struggles that Canadians are dealing with and pitch to them better alternatives, show that he's got ideas for making a better future for Canadians, and that he's the Prime Minister to lead folks into the future. That job got a little harder this last week, and part of the problem is that because so many Conservatives, again, according to recent polling, so many Conservatives support what Mark Carney is doing, that makes things not just more difficult for Pierre Poilievre after this vote tonight, but it could, and people are going to be watching for the possibility that some people who are dissatisfied with his leadership either leave the party, some of his caucus maybe just sit as independents in the House of Commons, or perhaps even cross the floor. And those, I think, are some of the people that he's really going to be targeting tonight.
Okay, yeah, I think only 3 seats needed for a majority if we do see any more floor crossing. Great insight as always, Laurie. Very much appreciated. That is Laurie Williams from Mount Royal University.